Hello, my name is Judy Bosworth, and that's my trifold in the background. You'll be able to see 3 close-up pictures if you'll click onto the link of pictures that I've provided. The author that I chose to learn about was C.S. Lewis, or Jack as he preferred to be called. He was born in 1898 and died November the 22nd, 1963. C.S. Lewis could quite easily be called a literary genius, and in his lifespan of a mere 65 years, he received several appointments and awards. What is remarkable is that he received not 1, not 2, but 3 honorary doctorate degrees from various universities. However, in addition to his adult literature, he is well known for his children's literature in the Chronicles of Narnia, which are wonderful stories of fantasy. Speaking about The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Lewis stated, which is part of the Chronicles of Narnia, Lewis stated that he felt compelled to write a fairy tale for children or he would burst. Once he realized that he was primarily a storyteller, he composed the Chronicles of Narnia to recreate the joy that he had experienced as a childhood in beautiful Ireland. He and his brother Warnie spent many hours creating worlds of fantasy themselves, and their favorite subjects were dressed-up animals and knights in shining armor. Those who are acquainted with the beliefs of Christianity realize that there's much symbolism within the Chronicles of Narnia that relate to the Bible, especially in the character of Aslan the lion, who represents the Lord Jesus Christ, who gave his life for the foolish sinner and later came back to life. Now, the family wardrobe, from which Lewis got the idea for an entrance to another world, is on display at Wheaton College in Wheaton, Illinois. It stands 7 feet tall and is 4 feet wide. Lewis himself enjoyed the works of George MacDonald, Plato, Homer, Malory, and Norse, Celtic, Greek, and Arabian myths. In addition to having a love for literature, Lewis had a faithful love for his friends, including his brother. He displayed the virtue of commitment when he cared for the widowed mother and sister of a friend who was killed during World War II, in which Lewis himself had also served and been wounded. Now, when C.S. Lewis wrote the 7 books that are part of the Chronicles of Narnia, he wrote them in one particular order. However, when they were published, the order was changed somewhat. And then, after a young boy sent C.S. Lewis a letter in 1957 with a recommendation, Lewis gave it some thought and determined that there was a 3rd sequence that he felt would be best for the order for the books to be read in. Now, the beauty of Ireland affected Lewis's love of nature from his youth, and it really influenced the lavish details that he put into his fantasy writings. When C.S. Lewis was 10 years old, he read fairy tales in secret, but when he was 50, he read them openly. He taught his readers moral lessons and truths in his fantasy stories. For example, from The Silver Chair, we read, "You would not have called to me unless I had called to you," said the lion. An interesting fact is that in 1915, Albert Einstein published a small volume called Relativity, the Special and General Theory. Now, this intrigued C.S. Lewis, and it had an influence on his ideas about time, travel, and how you could have different dimensions of time with the fantasy world and the real world. The Chronicles of Narnia are fantasy that we could say are a combination of Christian beliefs with mythological fantasy. Although C.S. Lewis did not have any biological children of his own, he was a stepfather to the sons of Joy, his beloved wife, with whom he shared a precious few years before she succumbed to cancer. Lewis is also known for writing Mere Christianity and the Screwtape Letters, which are more adult reading. One of the sources I used for finding out about C.S. Lewis was this little book right here, and it's called The Official Guide to Narnia. A few years ago, I bought a few copies of this book for my grandchildren. However, I had never read any of the Chronicles of Narnia. As a result of doing this assignment, I have determined that reading the 7 parts of the Chronicles of Narnia in the order suggested by C.S. Lewis is something I have put into my bucket list. If you've not read them, I invite you to do the same. Thank you very much.